Good morning, y'all, and happy Earth Day. My name's Paige. If you are new to our virtual yoga studio, I'm with Urban Lotus Project. And today I would love to start yoga class with a short guided meditation. So if you'd like, you could go ahead and grab a pillow to sit on, or you can lay down and make yourself comfortable. Maybe you grab a blanket, cover your body. You could use a pillow underneath your head, or you could put a pillow underneath the thighs and knees to keep the lower back on the ground. I just invite you to make yourself comfortable during this short guided meditation. And I love that I see some of y'all turn on your video. I love to see all of you. That's great. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit a little closer to the camera so you can hear me. But yeah, I invite you to just close your eyes if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, maybe staring down at the tip of your nose and keeping a soft focus. You might begin to lengthen the spine and allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. The elbows are getting heavier. And let there be a little space between the upper teeth and the lower teeth. Softening your jaw. Maybe even softening the space between the eyebrows. Soften your belly, letting it fall forward and relax. And just let the legs get a little heavier. We'll begin to bring some awareness to all the points of contact you have with the surface underneath you. Notice if you place more pressure in the left or right side of the body, and gently even that out. Notice which parts of the legs are in contact with the surface beneath you. Which edges of the feet, which toes. While maintaining the tall spine, see if you could softly sink into those connection spots just a little bit, really arriving into your seat. Staying with your normal, natural breath in and out of the nose at a rate that is comfortable to you. Bringing some awareness to your belly. Notice any sensations that happen there as you breathe. This isn't forced movement, and you might not feel anything at all, and that's okay. Just notice what happens in the belly as you inhale and exhale. Maybe there's a slight expansion in the belly as you breathe in, and a slight contraction as you breathe out. Maybe it's very subtle. For a few breath cycles, just notice what's happening in the belly. Next, we'll begin to move the awareness up to our rib cage, just around the lungs. Same thing, stay with your normal natural breath and just notice any sensation, any movement that happens right there. Maybe the ribs move outward, making room for the lungs to expand as you breathe in. And softly move back toward the midline of the body as you breathe out. It could be subtle. You might not feel anything at all, and that's perfectly okay. Just notice for a few breath cycles right here. Now moving your awareness to your heart, your chest. With your normal breath, maybe there's a slight lifting feeling of the chest as you breathe in. And a slight softening down as you breathe out. Just take some time to notice. Moving your awareness right to your throat and your nose. Maybe you can notice the temperature or texture of the air as it comes in through the nose and into the throat. Notice how it might change as it leaves the throat and the nose. Staying with your normal breath, just keep your focus there for a few cycles. When you feel ready, start to deepen your breath, making your inhales and exhales a little bit bigger. Notice how all these parts work together and move together. So on an inhale, you might feel expansion through the belly, ribs, the heart, throat, and nose. And on the exhale, you might feel natural softening as everything moves back toward the middle of the body. Take a couple deep, slow breaths. Just feel how your body is breathing. How it responds to the inhale and this exhale. And when you're ready, drop the chin towards your chest. Soften your shoulders and belly again. And slowly allow the eyes to start to open. Slowly letting the light in the room come back in. And when you begin to lift your head, just begin to notice the room around you, the virtual yoga studio. Notice where your eyes are drawn first. Maybe it's a picture in your room. Maybe it's your hands. Maybe it's out the window. Maybe you've noticed something you've never noticed before. Just take some time to orient yourself to your space. And apologies if you've heard my front door creaking open, the wind likes to blow that open. But so if you're laying down, go ahead and come back to a comfortable seated position. And we'll go ahead and bring our hands down to the side body. And we'll inhale, begin to lift the arms and hands up above the head. And exhale, slowly bring them back down. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, slowly bringing them back down. Inhale, lifting up. And we'll go ahead and press the palms together up at the top. And exhale, bring it back to heart center. Inhale, one more time. Press those hands at the top. And exhale to heart center. We'll go ahead and release the hands back down to the sides of the body. Fingertips facing down towards our mat. And we'll begin some neck rolls, warming up our neck. So we'll inhale here. And exhale, go ahead and drop that right ear to right shoulder blade. And maybe we walk the left fingertips a little away from the body. Breathing into that left side of the neck. And we'll inhale, begin to bring that head back up to center. And as we exhale, we'll drop that left ear to left shoulder blade and walk those right fingertips away from the body. Staying here for 2 or 3 breaths. And inhale, lifting back up to center. We'll go ahead and bring those hands to our thighs. And we'll just begin to slowly make neck rolls. So exhale, that right ear to right shoulder blade, chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder blade, and inhaling at the top. Go ahead, just matching your breath to movement. Going at your own pace. Maybe hanging out in a spot that feels good for you. And switching rotations. Exhaling when the chin hits the chest and inhaling at the top. Going through one more round and we'll meet back in center. Good. So next, we'll go ahead and bring our hands to our knees. On our inhale, we'll begin to lift the chest and the heart up towards the ceiling, along with the eyes. And then as we exhale, we'll round out the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Inhale, lifting that chest and heart up. Exhale, rounding out that spine. We're just warming up the spine right now. Inhale, lifting that heart up. Exhale, round out that spine. Inhale, lifting up. And one more time, exhale, round out that spine. Inhale, come back up to the center. And we'll go ahead, extend those arms out and lift them up above the head. And then exhale, we'll go ahead and twist off to the right side. Bring that right hand behind the back. Our left hand can either be in front of us or it can come to the outside of that right knee. We'll begin to turn the head, bringing our eyes over that right shoulder blade. Coming into a nice spinal twist. With every inhalation, we can lengthen the spine, and every exhalation, twist a little bit deeper. On the next exhalation, go ahead and slowly begin to unwind, coming back to the center, and we'll inhale, lift those arms up above the head. And exhale, twist off to the left side. Again, we could keep that right hand in front of us, or we could keep that right hand on the outside of that left knee. Yogi's choice. Go ahead and bring your gaze over the left shoulder blade. With every inhalation, shooting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And every exhalation, twisting a little bit deeper. On the next exhalation, go ahead and slowly begin to unwind, coming back to center, and we'll inhale those arms up above the head. And exhale, we'll lower that right hand down to the ground or right forearm and extend the left arm overhead, keeping both sit bones rooted down to the earth. And maybe bringing that heart up towards the ceiling, stretching that left side of the body. Staying here for 2 or 3 breaths. And inhale, reaching back up with both hands. And exhale, dropping that left hand or left forearm, extending that right arm overhead, rooting down for both sit bones. Maybe we lift that heart up towards the ceiling, breathing deeply in the right rib cage. Inhale, begin to reach back up with both hands. And exhale, lower those hands back down to the earth. Good. We'll go ahead and come up onto the left hip and bring our knees behind us, coming into tabletop position, meeting on our hands and knees. We want to make sure our knees are hip width distance apart, and we could tuck the toes underneath if we'd like either an added stretch and we'll go ahead and spread all 10 fingers wide, making sure that the wrists are right below elbows, elbows right below shoulder blades. And we'll begin to inhale, lift that right arm up, palm facing inwards. And when we're ready, extending that left leg up. We can stay right here if this is enough, or we can begin to bring the elbow and knee into the center of the body. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Good job. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, lower that hand and that knee. Good job. Next, when we're ready, we'll go ahead and lift that left arm up, palm facing inwards. And go ahead, extend that right foot out, foot flexed. Inhaling here. And exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, crunch. Good. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, go ahead, lower that left hand and that right knee. Next, we'll go ahead and bring our knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together. And we'll sit back on our heels and extend those arms forward. Maybe we rest our head down onto the mat, pressing into the palms, coming into child's pose. Taking a moment here. Now I invite you to think about 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe you begin to repeat those 3 things you're grateful for to yourself. I invite you to come back to this posture at any point during your practice. This is a great resting pose. Come back and center yourself. On the next inhalation, go ahead and come back to your hands and your knees. We'll go ahead and tuck the toes underneath. We'll lift the knees off of the mat. And go ahead and lift the hips up towards the ceiling, coming into downward facing dog. For a lot of us, this is probably our first down dog of the day, so feel free to have those knees bent. We could walk out the dog, bringing one heel down at a time. Pressing down through the ring finger and the bottom of the palm. On the next inhalation, we'll slowly begin to walk the feet to the top of the mat towards the hands. And again, our hamstrings could be a bit tight, so we can have that nice bend in the knees as we meet in forward fold. We'll go ahead and grab opposite elbows here and let that head hang, dropping that crown of the head down towards the mat. We could nod yes or shake our head no, releasing any tension out of the neck. Maybe rocking from side to side. We call this one ragdoll. Go ahead and release those hands back down towards the mat. We'll all take a nice bend in the knees, resting the torso on top of the thigh. And we'll slowly begin to roll up that spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head coming last. Good. And we'll go ahead and meet in mountain pose. So we want to have our feet hip width distance apart. We're going to lift up all 10 toes, try to spread them wide and bring them back down onto the mat. We'll go ahead and lift the kneecaps, activating the thighs. We'll tuck the pelvic bone and engage the core muscles. We'll inhale the shoulders up towards the ears and down the length of the spine, opening up the palms, activating the fingertips. And we'll go ahead and take a few breaths here in this pose. I invite you to shut the eyes. And just begin to tune into the body and the breath. We can begin to flutter those eyelids back open. Next, we'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head. And exhale, we'll swan dive forward. You can take a nice bend in the knees as you forward fold. Next, we'll inhale, flat back rise, bringing those hands to our shins. We want a complete flat back. So flat, I could balance a cup on your back. Crown of the head shooting forward. We'll exhale, forward fold, planting those hands down onto the mat. We'll step back into high plank. We'll lower those knees down, untuck the toes, And we'll slowly take a bend in the elbows, bringing our body all the way down to the mat. Resting the forehead down onto the mat. Next, we'll inhale, lifting the chest off of the mat, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. Baby cobra pose. Go ahead and exhale back down onto the mat. We'll lift back up onto our knees, tucking those toes underneath. Lift the knees up and bring the hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk out the heels here. We'll stay here anywhere from 2 to 4 breaths. On the next inhalation, go ahead and walk the feet back up to the hands. We'll inhale, flat back rise, bring those fingertips to shins. Exhale, forward fold. And go ahead, take that bend in the knees, resting the torso on top of the thighs, and we'll slowly roll up that spine. Stacking one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head coming last, good. Meeting back in mountain pose. Inhale those arms up above the head, and exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back rise. Exhale, forward fold, plant those hands, step back, high plank. Go ahead and lower those knees, untuck the toes, and take a bend in those elbows. Slowly bring ourselves down onto the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest off of the mat, baby cobra. Exhale, lowering back down. Go ahead, come back onto the knees, tuck those toes, lift those hips up, downward facing dog. Pressing into the ring finger and the bottom of the palm. Maybe walking out those heels, stretching out those hamstrings. Taking some deep breaths into the rib cage. When we're ready, go ahead and meet at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back rise. Crown of the head shooting forward. And exhale, folding forward. Go ahead, take that bend in the knees and slowly roll up that spine. Shoulders and head coming last, good. We'll go ahead and flow through that one more time, warming up the body. So we'll go ahead and meet back in mountain pose. Taking a couple breaths here. Go ahead and inhale those arms up above the head. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back rise. Exhale, folding forward. Plant those hands, step back into high plank. I invite you guys to stay in high plank, or you may lower the knees, yogi's choice. If you stay in high plank, go ahead and slowly exhale the elbows to ribs. We'll lower ourselves all the way down onto the mats. We'll go ahead and inhale up into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Upward facing dog as we lift the thighs off of the mat and chest. Exhale, lowering back down onto the mat, tucking those toes underneath and meeting back in downward facing dog. On the next inhalation, go ahead looking forward towards the hands and we'll step in between those hands, meeting at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back rise. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead, take that bend in the knees and slowly roll up that spine. Stacking one vertebrae at a time, shoulders and head coming last. We'll go ahead and meet back into mountain pose, palms facing forward. Shutting the eyelids here. And taking a few breaths. Noticing any sensations in the body. Noticing where the breath goes. We'll go ahead and flutter those eyelids open if they're shut. Getting ready for our warrior series. We'll go ahead and inhale the right foot back and making sure that right foot is facing parallel to the mat. We want that left foot shooting forward to the top of the mat, and maybe our heels come in line with one another. We'll go ahead and take a bend in that front knee, the left knee. We want to make sure that knee is directly over that left ankle. So it could be a 90-degree. Maybe we only see that big toe and that second toe on the left foot. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms up to a T, warrior two. And we'll bring that gaze over the left peace fingers. Staying here for 3 to 4 breaths. Next, we'll go ahead and lift that front palm facing upwards and exhale that left hand up above the head. Slide that back hand down that back leg, keeping a nice bend in that left knee. This is peaceful warrior. Maybe we feel a stretch in that left rib cage. Or maybe we don't. Next, we'll inhale, bring it back to warrior two. Very good. Exhale, lower that left elbow onto that left knee, and we'll extend that right arm overhead. Bicep is going to be close to that right ear. We want a long stream of energy from those right toes to those right fingertips. Maybe we spread the right fingers open, creating space between each finger. We can stay here if we'd like, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, we can drop that left hand on the inside of that left foot. Yogi's choice. We'll go ahead and inhale back up to warrior two. And we'll flow through that a little quicker. So go ahead, flip that front palm, bring it to peaceful warrior. Exhale, bringing it back to warrior two. And lower that elbow, extend that right arm overhead. Extended warrior. Good job. Next, we'll cartwheel those hands down to frame that left foot, coming up onto the right toes. Go ahead and lower that right knee down. We'll go ahead and bring that right palm on the inside of that left foot, and we'll begin to extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. We can stay here if we'd like, or we could begin to lift that right knee off of the mat. We could stay here for 3 to 4 breaths. Exhale, lowering that left hand down to meet the right, framing that left foot. Maybe we drop that right knee back down if it was lifted. And we'll go ahead and bring that left knee back to meet the right. Go ahead and bring the knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together. And we'll sit back onto the heels, extend those arms, maybe dropping the forehead down onto the mat. We're taking a rest here in child's pose. Maybe we notice the texture underneath our hands. Maybe we notice any sounds coming from outside. Maybe we even notice the temperature of the air on our skin. On the next inhalation, we'll go ahead and meet back into tabletop and go ahead and come back into downward facing dog. Making sure those feet are hip width distance apart, creating space between each finger, pressing down through that ring finger, breathing deeply into the rib cage. We'll go ahead and inhale, begin to walk those feet back up towards the hands. We'll take a nice bend in the knees and slowly begin to roll up that spine. Good. Meeting back in mountain pose. Next, we'll begin our warrior series on our left side. So inhaling here. And as we exhale, we'll go ahead and bring that left foot back. And again, our left toes should be facing parallel to the mat, and those right toes are facing forward. We're gonna take a nice bend in that right knee, complete right angle, making sure that knee is directly over that ankle. Go ahead, turn the body out to the side and lift those arms up to a T, bringing our gaze over the right peace fingers. Staying here for 3 to 4 breaths. Lifting that front palm facing up towards the ceiling, we'll go ahead and slide that back hand down the back thigh, peaceful warrior. We'll go ahead, inhale, bring it back to warrior 2. We'll drop that right elbow onto right thigh and extend that left arm overhead. Bicep close to the ear. We want a long stream of energy from those left toes to the left fingertips. Inhale, lifting back up, warrior 2. Go ahead, lift that front palm, bring it up overhead, peaceful warrior. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Go ahead, drop that right elbow on the right knee and extend that left arm overhead, extended warrior. Maybe we stay here, or if we'd like a little challenge, dropping that right palm on the inside of that right knee. Let's stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, lifting back up, warrior 2. We'll go ahead and cartwheel those hands back down, framing that right foot, coming up onto the left toes. We can lower that left knee down onto the mat. And we'll go ahead and bring that left palm on the inside of that right foot. Fingers making space between each finger. When we're ready, inhale, lifting that right arm up towards the ceiling. We can keep that left knee on the ground, or we can extend that left knee up. Very good. Staying here for 2 or 3 breaths. Everyone on video looks awesome. Go ahead, exhale, lower that right hand down to meet the floor, and go ahead, if your knee is lifted, lower that down, bring that right knee back. Let's go ahead and bring those knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together, and we'll sit back into a child's pose. Taking a few resting breaths here. Maybe we come back to what we were grateful for in the beginning of the practice. Allowing a smile to come over the face. And whenever we feel ready, we could slowly begin to come back up, meeting at the top of our mat. And we'll go ahead and come into our balancing series. So since it's Earth Day, we have to do tree pose. It's just how it goes. So what we'll do next is we'll begin to plant down through both feet. We're gonna imagine and visualize roots flowing down through our legs, through the feet, through the core of the earth. And imagine these roots grounding you down. The earth is here to support you. And we'll begin to bring our weight off into the left side of the body. Creating a strong left side. We'll go ahead and take a bend in that right knee. Opening up that right leg. Maybe we plant that right heel on the inside of that left ankle. Whenever we feel ready, maybe we slide that foot up. Maybe it's right below that left knee. We could stay here if we'd like, or we could go ahead and grab that foot, placing it on the inside of that left thigh. And our arms could be in various places. They could be out to the side in the T, which I find helps me balance. And you could always use a wall for balance as well. We could bring our hands to heart center. We could bring our arms up over the head like a blooming tree. Yogi's choice. We'll stay here for 4 to 5 breaths. If our arms are up above the head, go ahead and press those palms together. Exhale them to heart center, and we'll slowly slide that right leg down to meet the left. And go ahead, shake it out, and do a little dance. And we'll go ahead, when we're ready, go ahead and bring that weight off to the right leg this time. Creating strength, feeling grounded, feeling rooted to the earth, taking a bend in that left knee. Maybe we stare at a still point ahead of us. We'll go ahead and open that left leg, bringing that heel on the inside of that right ankle. When we feel ready, we could begin to bring that right foot up, either right below the knee or right above the knee. You never want that foot right on the knee. Again, maybe your arms are out to sides to help you balance. Maybe they're at heart center in prayer position. Or maybe your tree is blooming, the arms are above the head. You want to press that foot up against the thigh as the thigh is pressing up against that foot. Creating opposite tension. Shooting that crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Ooh, losing my balance. And it's okay if you fall out of this posture, you could always try again. If our arms are up above the head, go ahead and press those palms together and exhale to heart center. And slowly lower that left foot to meet the right. Go ahead, shake it out. Do a little dance. Awesome. Next, we're going to begin our knee to hand or toe to hand posture. So what the knee to hand looks like is you're going to take a bend in that right knee, place that hand, the right hand on top of that right knee. We could bring that left hand to the left hip. We could stay right here if we'd like, or we could go ahead and grab that big toe with the right peace fingers and extend that foot forward. Keeping a nice strong left leg. On the next exhale, we'll go ahead and either bring that right knee or that right leg out to the side. Good. Remember to breathe here. And again, if you lose your balance, it's okay if you fall out. You can always get in and try again. And feel free to try both modifications of this pose. Challenge yourself. And we'll inhale, bring that leg back to center, and exhale, lower it down, shake it out. And we'll go ahead and come onto the left side this time. So creating a strong right leg. When we're ready, lifting that left knee up. Maybe we bring that right hand to the right waist. We could stay here if we'd like, or begin to grab that left big toe with the left peace fingers and extend that left foot out. Good. When we feel ready, either bringing that knee or that left leg out to the left side. And it's okay if you fall out, you can always get back up and try again. And also feel free to use the wall here. The wall is your friend. Go ahead, inhale, bring that leg back to center, and exhale, lowering it back down, shake it out. Next, we'll go ahead and come onto the mat. Coming to the tops of the mat, we'll go ahead and meet in mountain pose. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, sweep those fingertips down towards the mat, dropping the hips, and inhale, lifting up, sitting into chair pose. Sitting here in chair pose, we're going to be able to lift up all 10 toes and bring them back down. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, we'll bring the arms back into skier pose. Inhale, lifting those arms back up. Exhale them back, skier pose. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bringing them back. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. Maybe you feel a shake or a burn. I know my legs are shaking a little bit. And we'll inhale, pressing up, standing all the way up. And we'll exhale, forward fold. Lowering the crown of the head down towards the mat. And we'll go ahead and heel toe the feet out to the outer edges of the mat and slowly begin to sit down onto the mat. So we'll go ahead and take a bend in the knees, planting both feet down onto the mat. We'll go ahead and bring our hands to the tops of the knees and begin to lift that chest up towards the ceiling, lengthening out the spine. Maybe we sit slightly back onto the tailbone. We're gonna get ready for boat pose. So we could either bring our hands to the backs of the thighs and lift the feet up, engaging the core muscles, lifting that heart up towards the ceiling. We could begin to lift those arms straight forward towards the toes. We could stay here if we'd like, or we can lengthen the legs. Go ahead, lower those feet back down to the mat, hug the knees into the chest. And we'll get ready for boat pose again. Go ahead, bringing those hands to the backs of the thighs, lifting one leg up and then the other. Maybe we extend those arms out, toes, fingers facing towards the toes. We can stay here if we'd like, or I'd like to invite you to do some yogi crutches with me. So what that looks like is we inhale here in boat pose. And as we exhale, we lengthen out the legs and the arms, coming close to laying down on the mat. And we exhale, bring it back to boat pose. We'll try to do 5 of those. Inhale, exhale, bring it back to boat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, back to boat. Inhale. And exhale, one more time. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Go ahead, lower those feet back down. Hug the knees into the chest. And what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and hug the backs of our thighs. So maybe we're able to grab opposite elbows. Maybe it's just the forearms, or maybe it's even just grabbing the opposite wrist. And we're gonna begin to reach those heels forward in front of us, coming into a hugging forward fold onto the mat. You can have a nice bend in those knees, or you can begin to lengthen out those legs. We'll just stay here for 3 to 4 breaths. And as we inhale, we'll go ahead and release those hands out from underneath our thighs. And we'll go ahead and bring those hands behind the back, palm or fingers facing towards the toes. We'll go ahead and take a bend in the knees, planting those feet down onto the ground. And what we'll come into next is called a reverse tabletop. So we'll inhale, lifting the hips off of the mat. And we want to make our body into the shape of a tabletop. Staying here for 3 to 4 breaths. And exhale, slowly begin to lower those hips down onto the mat. And go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet together. Knees out to the side. We're going to meet in butterfly position. So we can go ahead and grab those feet. Maybe we open up the feet like we're reading a book. Maybe we begin to flutter those knees. What we'll begin to do is lengthen out the spine. And as we exhale, we'll go ahead and slowly bring our chests forward. Maybe we bring those knees on the inside of, or sorry, maybe we bring our elbows on the inside of the knees. Hanging out here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, reaching back up. Good. We'll go ahead and bring those knees together, and we'll go ahead and extend those legs out in front of us. We drop the palms right next to either side of the hip, and we'll begin to lengthen the spine, activate those thighs, maybe our heels even lift off of the mat, bringing those toes back towards the body. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head, and then we'll exhale, fold forward over those legs. Maybe our hands are at our thighs, maybe to the ankles, maybe to either sides of the feet. And we'll go ahead and just hang out here for 3 to 4 breaths. Feel free to round out that spine. We'll go ahead, inhale, begin to lift back up. Next, we'll go ahead and bring the right foot in. The foot's gonna be on that left thigh. And we'll inhale those arms up above the head. Exhale, folding over that left leg. And again, we'll go ahead, feel free to round out that spine. Hanging out here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, lifting back up. Go ahead, extend out that right foot to meet the left. Shake out those legs a little bit. And next, we'll go ahead and bring that left foot in, bottom of that left foot on the inside of that right thigh. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head. And exhale, fold over that right leg. We can have either hand on either side of that right leg. Or we could go ahead and grab that right foot if possible. Feel free to round out that spine. We'll stay here for 2 or 3 breaths. And inhale, coming back up. Go ahead, extend that left foot out to meet the right. Shake out those legs a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and meet down onto our mats. So you could get there however you may like, or what I like to do is take a bend in my knees, grab the backs of my thighs, or extend the arms forward and slowly make my way down onto the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. And once we reach down to the bottom of the mat, we'll go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rocking from side to side, giving ourselves a nice lower back massage. Massaging out the kidneys. Maybe we plant our hands on top of the knees and make circles with the knees. Changing opposite directions. And go ahead, pause in the center. We'll go ahead and extend the arms out to a T. We're gonna go ahead and move the hips to the left and lower the knees to the right, coming into a nice spinal twist. We could go ahead and bring our gaze over to the left hand. Maybe we'll bring our right hand on top of that left leg. We'll stay here for 3 to 4 breaths. Breathing deeply in this nice spinal twist. And we'll inhale, begin to shift those hips back to center and lift those knees back up. Good, and next we'll bring those hips off to the right side this time. And go ahead and lower those knees to the left. Maybe we bring your gaze over to the right hand. And we can always bring that left hand on top of the right thigh. Breathing deeply in this nice spinal twist. And on the next inhale, go ahead and shift those hips and knees back to the center of the body. And we'll go ahead and hug those knees. Maybe we lift the chin and nose up towards the knees, and we give ourselves a really, really tight hug. Begin to tighten up everything in the body. Go ahead and release every limb back down onto the mat. We'll begin to set ourselves up for Shavasana. So maybe we grab a pillow for our head or underneath the thighs and the knees. Maybe we grab a blanket to cover our body, or maybe we put socks on our feet to keep the feet warm. And we'll go ahead and bring each arm out to the side, palms facing up, allowing each foot to fall open to the outer edges of the mat. Coming to a natural pace of breathing. Begin to allow the jaw to relax, resting the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Maybe the mouth even opens slightly. Begin to relax the forehead, the point between the eyebrows. Relaxing the collarbones, the left arm, and the right arm. Relaxing each palm. Relaxing every finger. Bring your awareness to our belly. Noticing every rise and fall with every inhalation and every exhalation. Begin to relax the hips, the left thigh, and the right thigh. Begin to relax the left knee, the right knee. Relax each calf muscle. The left ankle and the right ankle. Relax the left foot and the right foot and each and every toe. Begin to bring your awareness to your entire body. And allow yourself to relax just a little bit more. Begin to deepen your breath. Maybe we begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, coming back into the body, awakening. Maybe we begin to rotate every wrist and ankle, nodding your head from side to side.
Hi. I got one of these for Christmas.
Inhaling the arms up above the head, taking a big stretch like you just woke up. And begin to roll off to the right side, using the bicep as a pillow, coming into fetal position. Taking a couple breaths here. And allow yourself to extend that left leg and slowly make yourself come up into a comfortable seated position. We'll go ahead and bring our hands to prayer mudra in front of heart center and slowly nod our head down in gratitude for bringing ourselves to our mats today, for sharing this practice with one another virtually, showing gratitude for the earth on Earth Day. The light in me honors the light in you, and with that, we are one. Namaste.